Hello and welcome to the Ultimate Marble Racing Season 4 track tier list. So this is a first time in terms of streams. We did do a tier list at the end of the last season. However, it wasn't streamed. So same situation with this one, except I'm actually streaming my own tier list on this, and then we'll take a look at what everyone else thought. So over the course of the past week-ish, people have been voting on where they would put each of the tracks from the season. If I sound a bit sniffly and stuff, or a cough at all, I'm just getting over a flu. It's literally like a 3-day flu or something. And I've still got a little bit left over, but I was hoping it wouldn't interfere with the planned stream for today. And thankfully, I recovered enough over the past couple of days, ready for this stream. Don't let us influence your ratings. I am going to try not. I haven't looked at anyone's results on the total results bit. I get sick quite often. Yeah, I have a really bad, especially as it comes through to winter, when the weather change happens. During winter, I'm really bad. Ever since a chest infection I had about a year or two ago, a couple of years ago, I don't know when it was. I was basically told like it left something that means I can get prone to them a lot more, especially with cold weather. So they basically said I'll probably get ill more often. So go to the cold weather is great. I'm expecting another chest infection at some point. So joys. But yeah, it's a bit annoying, but we do what we do. We keep moving. It reminds me I haven't voted. Well, there is 22 hours left, or 22 hours and 46 minutes left to vote as of this stream. For those who watch this on YouTube, most likely not able to vote at that point. So definitely get those votes in. In fact, if you wanted to do it now as we go through at the same time, it will update on here as well. So you might get it in just in time. You see that number go from 9 to 10 if you get it in on time. Yes, I shouldn't because I missed so many. Totally up to you. You could just vote. You can skip. There is a. I get the mouse up. There is a skip option, so you could vote on the ones you are confident in voting for. I thought you'd be used to bad weather in the UK. I am, but it's the switching of weather, especially when it does the weird hot to cold. It just can't make its mind up in the UK. It's strange weather, but yeah, as we're going into the winter time, it drops literally out of nowhere, and then suddenly a flu goes round. So yeah, it is what it is. So remember the tracks. Honestly, I struggle with that. My memory is absolutely awful trying to remember what some of the races were. Sometimes my brain just can't remember them. Next season, I'll make a note of what tracks I watched and give them a rating. Good idea. Should do that too. Yeah, not a bad idea. But yeah, so we're going to be going through my picks here, so no pressure whatsoever. I do want to start as well by saying there are no bad tracks. There's no rubbish tracks. Even in like track showcases, which we'll be doing one after this. We're relaunching the track showcases again, but I'll get into that after this. Everyone has different preferences, different abilities, and that's why I don't have a section on here that's like absolute poo. It's just down to preference of how it went as a race for the season, and whether we think it could carry on into future seasons. So let's get started. Poo marble racing. Yeah, we don't have a poo marble racing section. Scream Speedway was a disaster. I still feel bad every time my track has been in the season. Something's going wrong. It's all the logic. It's all the logic. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, or something bugs in the game. But hey, we've got the first track. So it would be nice as well if I had the titles. I know this was mentioned in the Discord, some suggestions around this. I will be looking at other softwares to do this in the future, to try and see if we can have a link to the video to watch it back, the name of the track, because yes, memorizing all the names can be a bit tricky. and I guarantee I'll probably forget some here. But we have the Bahrain GP track up first. You can already see the voting from others. Yeah, because it's the live event thing, you can technically see what other people have put here. But I'm going to try not to let that sway me too much and try and go off my own ideas. And then we'll see when we get to total results, we can actually look at it either by most votes or averages and see where everything gets landed. And that's where we'll decide what tracks are going to be cut from the next season as well. To open up spaces for those which we'll be looking at in track showcases. So Bahrain GP, honestly, in my opinion, I thought that was a pretty good race. Don't think it's Ultimate Marble Racing worthy, although I don't know what necessarily qualifies for that. I guess it's like the best of the best, the most intense, the ones people enjoyed the absolute most. The Bahrain one, in my opinion, was a pretty good race. It was a good track, competitive racing, obviously based on a real track. I think it might be an epic marble racing. I think it was a really good track. So that's where I'm putting that one. Now, what was the name of this one? Was this the Peridot Park? I think that's what this one was called. This one again, creative. It was a good track. Coffee Raceway better not have been too disappointing, so I have a reason to fix it. Well, that is the other thing. If we do cut a track for, say, next season, I'm always willing to re-showcase a track that's been cut previously if there's been updates. If someone comes back and says, I know it got cut, or I know it had these issues, and they submit it again and go, here's a new version, brand new version of it. Definitely check it out again and reintroduce it if it's enough to get back in. So, for those that do get cut, don't feel too bad about it. You can either submit a new track, or if you want to work on it and fix some stuff, we can go through here. If anyone that in the chat as well wants to just give reasons to what they thought about different tracks, what was bad, what was good, what could be improved, feel free. It's good to share all this creative feedback to help each other. As I say, we have people with different abilities and different knowledge around the track building and a good track for the races we do. Brand new cool free coffee raceway. Yeah, there you go. Espresso raceway. Yeah, fit in with the brands. Battleground Garden, is that what this one was? Which it's Peridot Park, a different one. I don't think that was even in this. I think that was one that was submitted that I looked at, that I'm thinking of there. Yeah, this was the Garden Battlegrounds. You are correct. That was one that didn't make the cut. There was a few sent of this same style, and I cut down to what I thought were the best of them. The images are in alphabetical order from the track names. They should be... So they are. I actually put them into order as well. I spent time putting them into order. It said you could change the order of the streams of the races, and it just has not even done that. That is outrageous. So I don't know what I'll do. I'm going to bring up real quick all the tracks on another screen. Yep, so it's Battleground Garden. I know, big waste of time. Yeah. So Battleground Garden, yeah. I think that was a pretty good track. Would I say it was epic? It was... I don't know if it would quite fall into epic. It's definitely not just marble racing. It was a good track. I like the creativity. I like the little bomb section. That was pretty cool. I think one thing that's nice is having the variety and having some new things to see in some of the tracks. So we're not just repeating the same style of tracks. That's also what I do with the ordering. Like, I don't put the marble GPs next to each other. I don't put the ones based on real tracks next to each other. And this was a nice look at something that was a little bit different, had a nice different element to it. It was good. I would put it in good. Yeah. It was good marble racing. Oh, we've got to say, still cannot use mod tools. Interesting. It's right, Cheese might should do it. How strange. You're definitely moderator. Maybe I'll work on Marbaco Grand Prix again soon. I've got an idea for one of the less fun sections. Intrigued. Right, up next we have I've got the hydrate as well. The hydrate before we go on to chromatic courseway. So chromatic courseway obviously has been in it since I think the beginning. It's an OG track. And this one surprised me actually because I was always a bit unsure as whether this was going to be received well as a track. Entered mod view and got another set of ads. That's brutal. That is brutal. Need a hydrated mind for voting tracks. That is true. That is true. Yeah, chromatic courseway. I don't know why. I always thought I was unsure how this would have been received as a track. And generally, it's been quite positive. I mean, it's stuck around. It's always had quite positive feedback. I'd probably say it's in good as well. I think it's a good track. I don't think it's quite got enough excitement and enough close moments for it to fall into epic. I think it's good. Based off my first instinct, when I come across a track and go, that was a good track, it's going to have to fall into good, really, isn't it? This is what I get for wanting to save money. Right, we've got the city speeders. Keep wanting to say flat speeders, but that was the old version. City speeders, which of course flat speeders got a lot of hate. There was some issues with it that some people didn't like, and then Shady did some work and has expanded it. I think is planning on continuing to expand it, so we could see more parts coming maybe in the next season. I say hate, probably not hate. I mean, I did see some negative views around the original flat speeders. Maybe hate's a bit too strong. I know some people aren't the biggest fan of it, but I think the work that's been put in is good, and Shady has been taking some input as well and hearing what he's doing. He's always been asking what he's doing, which is nice. It's nice to see people giving feedback on that to some of the changes and seeing it evolve. So again, I think it's a good track. We probably have a lot of goods. I'm very in the middle on a lot of these. I'm a very positive person, but you know, whether we'll get many not marble racing, I don't know. Don't like to be too harsh. But no, I actually think it's a good track. I think there's still areas that need work. It definitely needs some more polish. Good or just? I think it's a tricky one, actually. It is a tricky one. Especially down the square corners. It's overcomplicated. This is what I mean. There is some there are some views. It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. I think in its current state, okay, I think just purely in its current state, I think it's a just. I think it's a just. Definitely better than just. How much did I miss? Not much. I've only done 3 so far. I've been ranting a bit. Yeah, see, I'm in between just and good. Getting a few on good. You know what? You'll sway me to the good. I can't be too brutal. But I like the amount of work that Shady's putting into it. I think for it to try and get higher in the good section and to be at least firmly a good, I guess it's just tweaking some of the bits that are a little bit on the messier sides. And like I say, square corners where it feels a bit rough. Some elements that probably just need polishing a bit. Again, it's abilities and stuff. It's people's track designs, and there's a lot to consider. But yeah, I'd say good feels good. Good feels good. Yeah, I'd vote Ultimate if it worked out. Yeah, so coffee one. Coffee Raceway. And cheese is great logic, but somehow always seems to fail during the stream. I'd say we had some. It did have some good moments in terms of criticisms or critiques. I know one of the things that was brought up was around the slowdown mechanism for the catch-up was a little bit too strong and held them for a bit too long. Apart from that, the track was pretty good and made some pretty good racing. I'd say fix that and maybe get a bit more reliable on the logic, and you might have an epic. But for now, I think I'm just going to have to get good. I'm going to have to do it to cheese. Gonna have to. Not marble racing without logic, good marble racing with logic. So I suppose just racing for now in between. Very just. I would give Coffee Raceway just marble racing due to the logic problems. Maybe I've been a bit too kind on it then. Good is better than I thought considering what happened. Yeah, so I think Coffee Raceway was good in terms of like it was close. It was close racing, some exciting moments. I think that's what pulls it just into good. But I'd say bottom of good because of the logic, the issues of the logic. Right, so this one, clearly some people don't like, which is funny because during the race, people said they quite enjoyed it. It had a lot of overtakes, some collision areas, some, a few bits. I may be biased because it is one of mine. So collision course, Boer said really liked it. The intersection, the collisions were super fun. So I thought that made it quite interesting to really switch it up with the crossovers, a couple of high-speed sections as well. Honestly, who doesn't vote their own track into Ultimate? I guess you could, yeah. I guess you could. I imagine a lot of people did. Very varied votes for this track. I voted my only one epic at my backyard derby and just tried to be fair and unbiased. Fair enough. See, I thought this was a good race. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I can't lie. Now, putting it in epic, I think might be too biased. I might have to put it in good. Yeah, because I guess if I'm looking at what's in good, it's tricky. I'm going good. This track should have more overtake spots. I mean, I think there were quite a few overtakes in that. Not big or epic enough. Yeah, it was mainly a showcase for one of the seasons I have in mind that's more Destruction Derby focused. So the tracks will be sort of smaller, more collisions, not necessarily like epic or ultimate racing sort of things. So up next we have competitive flat race, again one that's been in for a while, a pretty strong contender, good track. I'm just gonna hit for a lot of these. How many times am I gonna say the word good? What won't you put in good? See, I told you, I'm very down the middle. Now the JMR tracks weren't part of this season. They're not great tracks. Yeah, I did want to pull away from those a bit, partly because they're obviously from a different series, I suppose. And yeah, I wanted to get more of the creativity, because that is the joy of doing all these races on a virtual game, is you can be as creative as you want. You can do anything within the bounds. Flat Race, I think it's between good and epic. F tier worst track. We may start raising our standards. Wasn't too overly keen on that one. Interesting. That's an interesting take. You're gonna hate what I'm gonna say, because I'm gonna say I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's always been quite a strong track. It's always just sat in a good area. sort of in the middle. I think it's one of those tracks that literally does just sit in the middle as a reliable track that does what it needs to do. Doesn't do anything too fancy with it. But you know, that means it should probably fall into just, shouldn't it? It's just marble racing. It does. And that's how I need to think of it. This one is just marble racing. It does what it needs to do, and it just does it. So yeah, okay. I'm gonna start to tighten up my things. Less goods, just marble racing. So another one of the new ones, the CS Circuit 4. So this was a very high-speed, short track, but an interesting one. And I actually don't have a clue where I'm going to put it. I really don't. Because I don't think it's ultimate. I don't think it was epic enough to be epic. Because you know, it's small, it's quick, it's got a jump. It was quite close, if I remember correctly. It did keep people together, which was a good thing. So it's not rubbish. I shouldn't say rubbish. It's not marble racing. Like I say, none of them are going to be rubbish, but it's not marble racing. I think it's good, and yeah, the majority have said good as well. I think it is just good. It is good at what it does. It pulls it off. Right, Cyclone Speedway, yet another new track to the season. It's not bad. It's definitely rough around the edges. I will say that there are a couple of rough spots on it. I think this might be a just. Had a Boer moment. Yeah, I think this one might be a just. Yeah. Yeah. Now, one of the fan favourites, historically, DK Mountain. I feel like usually there's only one place for this. Usually. But we had issues this season. And I that might hurt my view on it. Now, obviously, those issues can be sorted. It could have been a weird one-off, something going funny with the track when loading it that caused a few people to go off in a certain area. But it is a great track. Too many good tracks. There's going to be loads of good tracks, honestly. For me, I think there's going to be loads of good tracks. The next two don't need to be analysed. Favourite track, 2 times auto. Next one, please. Yeah, it's who puts it in just. Yeah, honestly, that is that's criminal. That is criminal. With issues not sorted good without epic. Ah, see, it's always been an ultimate. It's always been an ultimate, and I feel like it just has to be, hasn't it? It's just one of those tracks. Everyone's always enjoyed it. Can we do a DK Mountain showcase today? Oh, I'm just gonna have to do it. You have to do it. We'll have our first ultimate. It's bound to be DK Mountain, isn't it? It's bound to be. It's always landed itself up there. The issues could have pushed it down to epic, but you know, because I don't think anything changed on the track, so I think it could have been just something with the load potentially. But I'll definitely look into it for the next season. It's still just such a good track. Dune Canyon. Dune Canyon again. It's one that I've very much been torn between. I can see we've got a couple of ultimates and some goods, and I know it's a classic, and I think people like this because it's a classic. It was one of our early on the brutal side maps. However, I don't think it's ultimate. but it does have epic moments. So I'll put it in epic. It's always had some epic moment in it. It's never failed for that. So Dungeon Dash. I think it's just never forget that one season race, 75% DNF rate. Yeah, it started out very brutal. Dungeon was legit very cool. Egg opinions. See, Pesky has very different opinions. This is the pressure when I'm doing these. A lot of pressure. So yeah, I agree with this one. I think it was good. In fact, I think it was very good. It's very interesting, very different. The dungeon part was pretty cool. Trying to think back to it because this was quite early in the season, I think. Trying to think whether I'd put in epic or good. I don't think it's ultimate. Oh, do I put it above this one? I think it's yeah. It's going in epic. It's going in epic. It's better than the garden one. It's got to be epic, I think. It's very tired earlier, but now I'm not. I'm very tired. I thought I said tired. I was really confused. It was race 6. Yeah. Ad break. Yeah, we have an ad break coming. We have an ad break coming. This one is epic, says Pesky Bird. Are we going to snooze? I'll hit it with a snooze. I'll snooze the ad until we've done this, as long as I catch the next snooze as well. We can get the ad break when we're transitioning over to the showcase. Oh, this trap had weird invisible sections. Oh, I didn't know. Can you snooze the ads? Can mods snooze the ads? Didn't know that was a thing. There we go. I could just ask mods to snooze if I need to in the future. Although now they might just snooze them all and then I get no ads. Not that ad revenue is like great, if any. Snooze once by accident. Yeah, and if it's in exciting moments, then I guess, or engaging moments, then it feels right to snooze it. Geez, taking away all the revenue. Oh, trust me, there's near enough no revenue coming out of this. There's a hydrate. Like I say, I wouldn't mind getting revenue out of Twitch down the line, and that's partly so I can up the prize pools even more for the seasons. We'll be upping it for the next one. I know I've said this before, but we will be upping it for the next one. But that's kind of the limit I can really kind of do. I don't know if I can really do it, but that doesn't matter. It's the limit I set myself until I start getting sort of more engagement. You know, we start to grow a bit more, I keep saying, but also hopefully get a little bit back revenue wise. I'm not talking much, but you know, as much as I get, I'll put into the prize pools and stuff and try and keep those growing as well. Pescador will win the money again. Is our revenue under $10? Yes. I don't know if you're referring to like a month or a year. Yeah, I don't really make anything off this, to be honest. Like, I think the payout on Twitch, I know we're kind of sidetracking here for a minute, but I think the payout on Twitch, you need 50, I think it is, to pay out. And I haven't had a payout. When was my last payout? It definitely wasn't within the last 2 seasons. It's definitely been over a year. So there you go. Just to give you an idea of what it's like. So yeah, basically everything's coming out of my pocket at the moment. And that's why I have to cap the prize pools. Obviously I'd love to go higher, but at the moment it's not possible for me. And that's why I'm saying, like, if we can promote the growth, get more people involved, might be able to make it to $10 revenue in a season. Everybody subs. There you go. That's the sort of thing I like to hear. The subs are actually probably way better than ads. Much better, especially the Prime subs. Prime subs top tier. Yeah, obviously I appreciate everything anyway. I like doing this. I'm enjoying doing this, and that's why I'm putting my own money towards like the prizes and stuff. It's sort of my way of giving back to everyone for supporting me. And just the support of being there watching is all I need. But back with this is taking way longer than I was expecting it to have a showcase as well. People say, don't worry about it. Just like I say, I appreciate everyone who just watches, even just for watching. As sub, I don't get much chance to watch your streams and port. Honestly, it's fine. It is totally fine. Like I say, anyone who watches on Twitch or YouTube, whatever, I'm happy for the support. Ads are coming back. Yeah, hit snooze on that again if you can. Yeah, we have been rambling. Okay, we've got 5 minutes snooze. Okay, let's crack on. So, GBA Bowser Castle. Because Marvel creators need to stick together. Indeed. We do. Wholesome. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. I am who I am. Right, so GBA Bowser Castle. Definitely a good track. I don't think it's ultimate. I don't think... Yeah. I think it was Boy was saying earlier about the invisible moving bits. I think maybe too many holes, too many marbles fall off. I think it makes for... I think it's an epic track. It is a great track. So I think I'm going to go epic. Is this only the vote, or will there be other stuff this stream too? So there will be the showcase, yeah. We will be doing a track showcase after this. And I'm not going to tell you what track we're going to be showcasing, because you got to stick around to find that out. Am I right in remembering that the outside lane didn't work on that one? I assume you're on about the one we've just gone on to, which is hell. It did work. It triggers once, basically just past the halfway mark. It did work. Everyone went through it at the same time, which doesn't always happen. So it's funny that it did happen on this one. I really like this track, and again, it is one of mine. I think it's one of my best creations, in my own opinion. The race was incredibly close. Everyone was very close together. It's one that I would say could go ultimate, but it is my own track, so it could be a bit biased. I think it's a pretty epic race, so it's got to go epic. It's got to go epic. Do Monaco. I'm not going to reveal. How my space track gets showcased because I want everyone's reaction to it. Well, just to bear in mind, everything that goes into the track submissions, I'll try and do a showcase on. So if it's in there, there's a good chance it'll be showcased at some point. And we can see what people think. We're nearing the GPs, we are. So we have the Honeycomb Highway. So this one, I think. So I made a few changes to some of these. There's a couple of tracks I've made changes to, which I don't know whether that should worthy getting down marked on. Because technically I could keep them in the way they are going forward locally. So I've obviously got the changed version saved. I think it might be a good. If you close your eyes and mute the stream, you won't know how good or bad the GPs are. That is true. I think it was a good. Yeah, I'm going good on it. I don't think changes are a thing to down ratings, other than maybe it being a reason to not count as automatic. Yeah, no, I won't put down ratings for changes. I'll do it as the track that we used and raced on. So this one is the Marble Derby. This one I didn't like. I don't think I liked as much as the Honeycomb one. This one I think is probably a just, to be honest. Oh, we're not going to get a snooze on this one. We've got an ad break coming in 50 seconds. Prepare yourselves. Kind of Memory's favourite self-made. Had one highlight. Yeah, I think it was... It could be a not. I don't know if that'd be too harsh on it. I think there's definitely some other tracks that Wheatman put in that were better. I'll go with just. Right, the GPs. Here we go. Just as the... don't mind doing the tracks are better than this one. Yeah, I think there were better tracks, yeah. It was definitely better than not. Yeah, I'll give it that. It's ad break coming in, so Ice Man, if you don't want the pressure of the GPs, you can watch the ads instead. But we're starting off with Marble GP England. Pretty good track. We always start the season with it, as it is my home track, basically. I see we've got one ultimate. I know exactly who put the ultimate vote in. But I think I'll probably have to agree with most of those. I think it's a good track. I don't think there's anything epic enough that happens to go epic. So you can say I'm biased. I'm biased. It's ultimate. It's straight ultimate just because of the country. No, I think it's good. It's a good track. Right, Marble GP Fiji, one of the new Marble GPs into the season. I quite enjoyed this one. Especially the 2 lanes and the interesting moments that would happen there with position changes. This one I think is epic. A jump scare. Yeah, I think this one's an epic one, to be honest. I think this is definitely one of the better Marble GPs. I have to say, all the Marble GPs are effed. That's brutal. That is brutal, Baskerville. It's an outrageous statement. No, that's an epic. That is an epic. Right, Marble GP Malaysia, another new one. So this was the water slide one. I don't remember too much on this one, being totally honest. It was decent. I'm trying to jog my memory on the race. That's bad given as the penultimate race. Oh yeah, it was. It was a late race, wasn't it? I don't know why. Honestly, I don't remember much of half the races, even Red Rings, and that's obviously one of the big tracks. I get so immersed in it when we're doing it, and then my brain seems to just dissolve. But it was a good track. Good or epic? That is the question. It's better than GP England. I don't think it's as good as Fiji. I think Fiji, personally, is possibly one of the best marble GPs we've done currently. Oh, where would I put it in compared to these? It's got to be somewhere here. It's like in between. It's a tough one. Needs another tier. Yeah, it is. It's a tough one. I don't know where to put this one in good or epic. I think all the MotoGPs need a lot of work. Crazy stuff. Really, I don't think so. I think there's probably some that do. GP England could probably do with some additions to bump it up to epic. I think Fiji's very well done. I don't think anything needs doing there. This one, again, I don't think much needs doing. You know what? We'll go epic. Bottom end of epic, but we'll go epic. Now this one, I think does have it's actually been rated quite well. It's a creative track, but I do think it has a few limitations to it. It does have some really interesting sections, some really fun sections like the Vegas section. The road, obviously, and I know that can't be helped because it's just physics of the game, can be a bit interesting. It's very bumpy and it's a little bit tedious. Everything else on it, though, is good. It is a good track. now that I'm thinking about all the aspects of the track, it is a very good track. Oh, you know, it's got to be epic. I can't even lie about it. Now that I'm remembering it, it's got to be epic. And I mean, the only thing that sways me into the epic over good is the Vegas section and the moments you get from it, and just the craziness of it. It just has a couple of sections that really switch things up. I think that's the one thing that's bumping me up there. But it could have been in good. It could have been in good. I feel like something was just slapped together. I'd say good, but not much more, to be honest. Fair enough. I think it came way better than deserved. I might have been too nice. It's just the person I am. See how I haven't got any and not. I haven't got any down there. I don't know if I will put any. We'll see. Right, another one of mine. Marble Mania, the Trackmania styled one. Mix of sections. I'd say I think it's decent. I think it's a decent mid-ground track. Yeah, not much more I can say about it. Right, Millennium Circuit. So this one might be the first not marble racing. And it's not because it's a bad track, because this track is incredible looking. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look. It looks incredible, but in terms of, yeah, it's a beautiful track. It's absolutely insane. But as Boy was saying, that's what I was about to say, it doesn't work for what we're doing. So notice our participants have gone up from 9 to 12. So while we've been doing this, a few people have put in some votes. 193 votes. Yeah, it's a brilliant track. And that's the thing, when I brought it in, I really liked it, and that's why I included it. And then during the race, it was hard to track from a spectator side of it. It was tricky to follow exactly and to track everything properly, and it got a bit confusing, and it's hard to watch, it's hard to commentate. I think that's where it falls down. I think that's why it has to go not. Nothing against the track itself in terms of how well it's made. It is an incredible track. You should probably call this like races other than tracks, because the track itself is incredible, but it doesn't work for what we do. So it doesn't really work for the races, and for that reason it's a not, and is probably going to be cut. It's one I can pretty much confirm we're going to have to cut for that one reason. It is just too confusing to follow. As Iceland says there, it's confusing to watch. Office Madness is absolutely insane. It is a wild roller coaster of a track from start to finish, and there's no question about it. It's an ultimate. It is an ultimate. Yeah, if Chaos was a marble track, it is just an ultimate track. It's brilliant. It's the longest one we have in the season, and it does its job perfectly. Then we have Office Pre, and this one has to be up near the top in my opinion, because we've had some crazy moments out of this. I know there's some sections that are a bit slower, which is why I would never go ultimate. There are some sections that are a bit tedious. It's not ultimate, but I think it has just enough moments in it to make it epic. There's always some drama in it. There's always some chaos. We've had people shoot past the finish line on the final lap and DNF because of it. It has moments like that that make it so epic. Yeah, the one I did 2 laps. Yeah, that was the Office Madness was the 2-lap one. Then we have Peridot Park. Oh, we do have Peridot Park. I just got them muddled up. Peridot Park, good track. It is a good track. Nothing too crazy about it. It does what it needs to do. Is it good or is it a just? Because in some ways it's just marble racing, isn't it? There's nothing too fancy going on. It's just marble racing. But it is a good track. But it is a good track. See where we'd put it alongside these. I think it's gonna be good. You think it's good? Is it just because you won the race? that's a fair enough reason. I think it's a good track. Red Rings. I'm amazed it has one ultimate vote. And mate, Red Rings is always our finale, and it's always for a reason. In fact, the fact it has a not marble racing, someone needs to sort themselves out. They really do. It is crazy. I know this might just be because of, I don't know, my own bias of it always being our last track and the big finale, but it's got so many moments. Although, admittedly, did have some slow areas. I might have to put it in epic. I feel like I only worthy at ultimate because it's the finale of the season. But I think in terms of a track, it might just be epic because it has its moments. But I don't think it's ultimate worthy. Don't really like it aesthetically. Interesting. See, this is nice doing this live. I get to hear what people think about these tracks because I don't always hear this. So it's good to hear what people actually think about them. I'm going to go epic for the moments and the finale, which probably sways it a bit. But you know, do we look at a new finale track at some point? Do we do it? I think it's overrated but still good. Interesting. Maybe we look at changing the finale track at some point. Make a big change. Big change. Yeah, I'm gonna go epic. Right, rooftop ratio. I also noticed we're nearly at the hour mark. I was not expecting this to be this long. It's definitely longer than I was expecting it to take. We have been waffling a lot, rambling a lot, going off topic. Rooftop ratio. I actually thought this was a decent track. I can't lie. It was a pretty good track. It was fun. It was different. I enjoyed the look of it. I recommend GP Marshall Islands for the finale as fireworks after crossing the line. Ramble box. Cut red rings. It's just mid. Interesting. I think we figured out who voted not Marble Racing for red rings. I think we did. Pesky Bird had quite a brutal rating system. Once a third season finale just somewhere in the season. That might be what it'll become. Yeah, I enjoyed this one. I thought this was good. It was a good new addition. Now, Sandstone Magcore. I feel like you could be swayed by how visually good it is again. In terms of the race, though, in terms of the excitement of the race, I think everything was just so spread out. It's a good track, but everyone gets spread out. Now, that could be because we need more people. Let's be real. Some of these could be so much more exciting as we start to fill up the grid again. And it may just be that everyone's getting spread out because our grid is back to the smaller size once again with the new sign-up system. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt on that. Because it is a good track. But it's just, I think it lacks the excitement of some of the other races. I think it might be a just. But it is a good track, that's the thing. So both of these very good in terms of design, the time put into them. The style is incredible on them. But they're not quite action-packed enough for our series, for what we're using them for. Now, Spa. Good track. Good track. Very good track. Really enjoyed it. I'd probably potentially put in epic. Would I put in epic or would I put in good? Is it going to be another good? Spa. In terms of pure track building, is actually ultimate. Yeah, honestly, I agree. When it came to the Magcore, same with Millennium Circuit. Track building, absolutely ultimate. Absolutely. Could use some work, yeah. Would you rate anything ultimate? Yeah, I think it's a really good track. Just realised I got my fan on as well. I'm hoping that hasn't been picked up by my mic at all. But is it? I'm going good. The crazy race was interesting. but it was hard to keep track of, in my opinion. I like the idea, really like the idea. I think it's more maybe the execution. The idea is great. I think it's just trying to keep track of everything going on this race was very hard. Do you not remember this one? Is this with the DNF house? No. This is the one that had every lap the race became more difficult. I think everyone got a bit spread out, and it's tricky. I think this one's gonna have to fall into just. Like I said, I just think the idea was there, but the execution needs work. Yeah, everyone gets too spread out, and it makes it tricky to follow. Yeah, Crazy Race could work better. Fully agree. I'm glad you agree. Too long of a lap to make it worthy. Yeah, like the idea is good, Wheatman. The idea is good. I think the excuse of the track, and probably because it's again sort of an early development, sort of a first attempt at the idea, it's a little bit. Everyone gets very spread out in the race. I feel like if you go back and watch it, there's a lot of gaps. I guess finding ways to squeeze everyone together a bit more, maybe at least in the earlier sections, so they don't sort of get the lap behind. Mainly just the execution. Great idea though. Would love to see it attempted again. Yeah, like I say, just the execution, I think. Okay, another one of mine. Total Extermination. Now, this is the one with the little DNF house that I think you're referring to. The chaotic one with a lot of DNFs, as it's designed to be. And honestly, I actually think I would put this in Ultimate for myself. Because I feel like this holds a special point in the race of chaos. And it does it well. It does it well enough that you don't know if only 2 people are going to finish, or if there's going to be like 10, or no one. It's you just don't know what's going to happen with it, and I find it so fun to commentate. I absolutely love commentating this one and seeing what's going to happen. It's chaos, and you could be winning, and then suddenly, oh, you're in lava. Oh, you've been killed by the house, or you've just fallen off. And for that, it's Ultimate. Need elimination races back. They are fun. I do like throwing in some tracks that are chaotic. That's why now we kind of mix them together, and we no longer have the separation of elimination versus normal, where the points change whether you're eliminated or not. Makes it a bit easier to track, and for me to do the calculations on, doing them live especially. But I do like seeing some more elimination style tracks. So yeah, if there are other tracks like that you'd want to see that also make a good race, definitely we can throw them in. Take a look at them in the showcase. Just put them in the Discord. But yeah, at some point we will do a season that's dedicated to elimination tracks, and it'll be a survival one. It will be last person standing. I think that's the plan for the season. So the races, we have no idea how long the streams can be. So if you do want to make some chaotic tracks, that will be coming at some point in the future. And we'll need a few tracks for it. Pesky Bird, I'm the best at elim races. Try Spinner. Another classic. Very mid, says Pesky Bird. It is a classic. It's a good track. So yeah, I'd say mid tier. It's good. It's good. It's good. And you know what? There we go. Managed to complete my list. And now we're going to look at the other list. It's been an hour. Stupidly long. I can't believe it's taken us this long. Maybe I shouldn't have done a track showcase in the same stream. But hey, you know what? We're going to do it. I think that's what the people want, I'm sure. So I will stick to it. So now we're going to take a look at what everyone else thought. So just a final look, 3 ultimates, big chunk in the epic to good. Yeah, so let's see what everyone else thought. So we can either go off most votes or average rating. Going to go average rating. We'll look at average rating first, then we'll look at most votes, I think. Average obviously takes all of these and looks at what the average is. So obviously, just to show a comparison, most votes, technically because, say, total elimination. Is it total elimination or is it total extermination? I don't know the name of my own track. Total extermination has 3 ultimates, which makes it the most out of all of them. But on average, because of the justs, it pulls it down into epic and is actually halfway through the epic. So average wise, we have no average ultimate, which is kind of to be expected. You're not really going to see any at the right at the top or right at the bottom with the average, with the variety of votes we have. But number 1 in the list is DK Mountain. Not really surprised by that one, to be honest. Is a fan favourite, always has been, and will probably continue to be. Second, another fan favourite. Not surprised at that second. Third, maybe surprised me slightly. I know it's a classic, so that's probably what's pulled it up there quite a bit. Marble GP USA is up in epic in 4th. So clearly people really like that one. Guess that's the fan favourite of the Marble GPs we have currently. How did my crazy race do better than Honeycomb Highway? Of course, total extermination. Got GBA Baz Castle. Magpie actually ended up here. Interestingly. Now again, I don't know if that's because a lot of people are voting off the look. But I'm surprised it's that high in terms of the race. Marble GP Malaysia, we've got City Speeders, Marble GP Fiji, which I think is deserved to be up here, definitely. Chromatic Courseway, getting a good. Red Rings, getting a good. Marble GP England. Yeah, I'd say not too bad in the goods. Thought this deserved a bit better than a good. I'm surprised it got 2 knots. That is, oof, painful. And then our justs. Okay, so a little bit different. A little bit different. If we go on most votes, we'll see how that changes. Have a quick look. So total extermination sitting up at the top. Okay, so a couple got bumped up. I suppose they're all up from where they were, but a bit of a switch around. Oh, although that is only because all the others, there's ones across the board, and then there's 1, 2. Bump that right down. Where was that in the average? Yeah, in the good section. So I guess it's going to be about cutting races out, and I guess we can have a quick discussion here as well before ending this, is what tracks people think could potentially be cut going forward. I usually go off, if they're in the bottom 2, I cut them pretty much 100%, maybe 95% certainty on cutting them. Now I'm surprised about the CS circuit. I thought that might have just pulled into a good, but I guess from majority vote it might have to go. Like I said, if you go off most votes, then it does change the thing. We'd be losing we'd also be losing the Bahrain GP, which I thought was a good track. But yeah, I think although Magcore averaged an epic, I think it's epic in terms of the track, in terms of the visuals. All of that makes it incredible. In fact, ultimate. But from a racing perspective, it might be a cut. It might be a cut from next season. Whether people agree with that or not, I'll be interested to hear. But I think it might be a cut. This one, definitely. Just glad Coffee Raceway made it through. I vote for cut. Yeah, I mean, we could do a poll for like all the tracks, but I think that might be a bit too long. Coffee Raceway deserves a second chance. If there are changes, let's see, cheese. Is there work going on with Coffee Raceway? If it sticks around in the season that's coming, is the logic going to be improved? And is that slowdown going to be reduced? I think they're really the only couple of changes needed. I'll be more than happy to give it another season run, because I think the track was still good. I don't think it's cuttable. I don't think it needs cutting yet. I think it just needs some tweaks. Obviously, there are some tracks that, again, we can see a return if they've been cut and they get tweaked, they can return. We do have an ad break coming up, so we're going to finish off fairly quickly here before going to the showcase. Stabilizing is too aggressive, yeah. So yeah, I think we'll be cutting this just here. We'll be cutting the Magcore, cutting Millennium. Might even cut that. I guess it depends how many tracks we also have coming in. That's another thing to consider, is I also compare them against the tracks we'll be showcasing. So if we feel that they can take a spot, if we've filled all the spaces and another track comes out that's really good, we decide, okay, is it better than something we currently have? Do we substitute and then see how it runs? Guess that's how we do it. Fluid suggested cutting out all the tracks that have at least 2 not marble racing. Well, that would literally just be that one and my one and that one. Yeah, I think I can go just off that. I feel like some of the not marble racing votes are too harsh, because at least with this one I would put my foot down on, because I would say that was a great race. And that's why going off most votes can be tricky, because there could just be a couple of people that don't like it. Yeah, that is the tier list, as we're probably going to ads now for those on Twitch. That is the tier list. There will be some cuts, and we have track showcases coming up to see what will take those spots, and maybe even a couple of other spots if the tracks are particularly good and could replace some of the not as good racetracks we currently have. Same with if we have some more marble GPs come in that are really good, I'd probably be having to look at substituting marble GP for marble GP, so we don't have too many of them. Yeah, that is going to do it for this one. Why didn't this snooze? Because there's no more snoozes left. I was gone. We were talking about cutting coffee. Not entirely. We're going to give it a second chance on the next season, because it is a good track. We were saying the slowdown system, the stabilization system's a little too aggressive, probably needs turning down a bit. And obviously the logic, if the logic's working, the stabilization's less aggressive, then I think it can really bump up. So we're going to run it again the next season, and if those tweaks happen, then even better. Yeah, let's go do it for the tier list part. We do have a track showcase coming up, so I will be setting that up for a few minutes. But that's where this video is going to end for those watching on YouTube, and it has been longer than I was expecting it to, so I'll be surprised if anyone makes it through to the end of the YouTube video. But if you did, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one.